Thank you, Scott. Thank you all for coming to our it's bi-weekly Q&A. Today's not going to be too long, but as usual, we're going to start off with the disclaimer. Trade Ideas is not a registered investment advisor. All the information you're going to hear from myself, Barry, Scott, or any team member should not be construed as registered advice of any kind to buy or sell securities, but is just for your informational and educational purposes only. Hey, Mike, always good to see you. So, I'm a little bit older, about to turn 51 in December. So I thought I'd throw in a little old school Wall Street Gordon Gekko and really talk about how with Trade Ideas, you are the fund manager. This is what we do. We help people navigate the market. The market's kind of tricky, and we've been doing this since 2003. We're very proud of the fact that all of our technology is made in-house. We don't outsource it. We use our own people, and we've been on the Inc. 5000 list for now 5 years in a row. I'm very proud of that. And I think more good things to come from your team at Trade Ideas. So before I'm going to minimize here, and I'm just going to jump right into the software. Okay. So today you're looking at my layout, and I use multiple different types of layouts. I use docking windows right now because we released that recently, and I've been working on it. But here you can see we have kind of new information on the channel bar, where you can see the status, and there's also a messaging icon. If we're going to message you, you're going to see something there. If there's some issue or something like that, that's where you will see information. That will help us make sure that everything is working well and you're getting the most important data that you need. Okay, so as you know, we've added, I want to show you guys a couple of things. First of all, we've been working on the charts, and I'm just going to go over and click on a few of them quick. And hopefully what you see is they're kind of faster. So that's something that I want to show you. And this is, again, a layout of mine. And you can see that in the single stock window right here, we've got tabs that you can look at the news. So as soon as, for example, GameStop today, I'm going to click on that. Revenue up 29% year over year, inventory ramp, SEC subpoena, and more. So as soon as you see something, you can click on that in the software on the news, and it'll bring up a browser window with that story. No, Mike, you're so sweet. Multiple charts. You could switch the time frames on this little clock right here. Okay. And there's lots of different things that you can do. Like, for example, GameStop's going down in after hours, but I can set a link here to create a price alert to let me know when it's popping back up. Okay, I'll hit save. And now I added my little pin, and you can see that as soon as if it goes higher, I will be notified, and that'll let me know that maybe, again, there's a change of momentum, a shift. Mike, come on now. Is everyone else able to hear me? Hopefully Sam's got an issue with his audio.
The audio's fine.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so the other thing, guys, that we've been doing is, and I'm gonna bring in a new window. I'm gonna bring in a couple of them, really. This is the crux of what I really want to show you all. Let me minimize it some right here. So this is our stock racing. You can go to for example, any top list, And this is in my version. This is going to be coming out. Right click and say real-time stock race. Okay, so that creates a race, and you can do lots of different things. You can know how many cars are in it, based on price, sort on change from the close. So you can say based on really lots of different things, change from the close, dollars, for example, and that's the delta, descending or ascending order. And what's kind of cool is now you have this auto rerun the race, replace cars. I'm going to hit go. And so what it's doing now, it's watching that top list in after hours mode and just trying to see, which one of these things are moving. And we've been working on this for a while. And again, after hours is a little bit different. It really helps to be able to see it during the market because Liliana, shoot an email to support with that question. Again, it's not something that we cover in the Q&A, but after hours, I think relative volume filter stops things from working. I'm pretty sure. I think it's during market hours only. But the other thing to notice here, guys, is that on the right-hand side, you see the winners list. And I made this specifically for the presentation. These are short 5-minute races, but it's kind of continuing to remind you what is moving in after hours. And of course, DWAC has just been tearing. So this is another way to create a view of the market through being able to see stocks visually move in a different way. It's in essence, it's like you're watching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 charts at the same time. Okay. And what we see is your eyes really create this sensation of the strength of these moves. Okay. And this DWAC is just on complete fire. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, and again, you can check the news, you can click on this, and any story will come up. What I want to do is I want to bring in a Trade Ideas Brokerage Plus window and talk about how, well, there's a couple of things I want to discuss. Number one, this Brokerage Plus window allows you now to connect to E-Trade, Interactive Brokers, our simulated trading, and we're still working on TD Ameritrade. It's not really quite ready yet. In my development mode, those options are available, but it's not yet ready. But E-Trade and Interactive Brokers are fully functional, and with E-Trade, you have zero commission trading. So you can try stuff with like 1 share, 2 share, and you can try very, very active strategies. So Neil, Neil in the Q&A is asking, what is it that you're seeing? You're seeing in the stock race, it's a gamification, a version of being able to watch market data in a racing type of scenario. Okay. Yes, it's a race game to see which stock is winning in terms of here it's pennies or in here it's percentages. And obviously during the day, you're going to see a completely different situation. You're going to see something just really moving, and the moves are much larger. I mean, I spent all day watching the stuff, and it just creates a totally different market environment. And this is the same thing. Here you can see it starting to fill up. Just because this is post-market data, you're not going to see too much information. but we're trying to get you to notice and be aware of a new way. Are they Ferraris? I think there could be other stuff too. There's a McLaren maybe up there. Who knows? So the racing is a new way that we're having our customers be able to visualize data and be able to track who is really winning. And again, this way you're going to be kind of constantly dialed into the sprint. Because what happens is, let me move this back over here real quick. I'll bring this layout in right here. Okay. See, when you have data in a top list, which is kind of like a spreadsheet to some extent, it's hard for people to really figure out what's happening in terms of because it's hard for us to visualize the numbers. Whereas in a race sort of environment, you can see that this thing is moving right now. Obviously, it's just 1%, but especially in relationship to the others. Okay, so you know, in terms of winning here, what happens is, let me show you. I'm going to stop the race. I'm going to right click and say show race setup. So it's based on what's up the most from the close. Okay. So that's what it is. And this is just tracking after the close moves, but you can do it in dollars. You can do it from the open. You can see what's pushing more volume. It's kind of, again, a new way that we at Trade Ideas are breaking the mold of the way you look at stock market data, which is usually just, you know, letters and numbers. That's it. Yeah, Neil, we're very, very excited about what's going on here with this. So back to Brokerage Plus. Here, I do a lot of simulated trading practice, and one of the things you can do is you can take a stock that's winning a race, and you can see would playing these be a good strategy. Again, I haven't done that yet today, but the idea is that everything you see in Trade Ideas links to your Brokerage Plus, and inside of Brokerage Plus, you can do automated trading. You can do half auto, half you, or you can just trade everything yourself. So there's ways that you can spread it out. You can create different accounts. You know, you can even take Holly and create a, now obviously I didn't have it turned on today, but that's the AI. And you can have the AI trade for you. Okay, so you can practice trade the AI in simulated trading mode and see if following this is something that would work for you, or how would you follow it. A lot of people do it in number of different ways. They don't simply just do everything that the AI does, but some of them just trade the re-entries, for example, which is a way to just kind of put your toe in the water. And our good friend Barry, who leads our trading room, loves that kind of a strategy. So there's lots of different ways to do it. And I just want to make sure that people know that we just help you track it in all sorts of different ways. Okay, you can see how much your positions are up or down in terms of dollars. And of course, the exposure, how much are you off of your max P&L, unrealized P&L, total, percentage profit, and performance graphs. So we kind of do it all. And all of this is customizable. You can right click, you can go to columns, you can do all sorts of customizations. I'm not going to show you that, but you can do it. Yeah, right now, we used to do Canada, but I'm pretty sure right now we're just US. We at one point actually had Canada and German markets, but that the German market didn't take off. We wanted it to, but it didn't. And we're still open to possibly working on other foreign markets, but right now we're just in the good old United States. Okay. So that's Brokerage Plus, and again, you can see kind of another version of the race that we did in the stock races up here, where you can see which one of your stocks that you're in here is contributing the most to your P&L. Okay, so let's move this away. And after hours, the moves are going to be kind of small, but what you can see is, let me make sure I do the right time frame here. But what you can see sometimes, and that's what's really cool about the races, is it's not just the winners, you can see the rebounds. And that's another way to catch things that you otherwise would not have caught. So just a different way to perceive the information, different way to look at the data. Okay, let me move this back. I'm going to switch channels real quick. I'm going to show you a couple of things. Okay, so today, a little bit of a tricky day for the AI, and that happens from time to time. I mean, again, you try to, in this case, we were shorting NVEI and it had a gigantic bounce back. Those things are very difficult to know, because again, we're not about predicting it based on magic. We're really, what we're trying to do is we're using statistical data to say, hey, there's something that's weak, we're going to try to do it again. But that is also why you have stop losses and risk management everywhere, and the different modes. So you had one in the conservative profit, you only lost $244 on 100 shares, and of course, moderate and aggressive mode, there was quite a bit more, because in those modes, we simply show you what it's like to stay in the trade for the rest of the day. Okay, you can see when a stop is hit, and also you can see a re-entry price. So the people that were trading that style, the re-entry style, let me click on that real quick, they would have really only been in one trade, which is also totally fine. And again, you can see what we're trying to do here. This is a kind of a bounce play where it looks like something was beaten down, started to turn around, and that really started to go, and it just pulled back. So one of the other things that we discuss all the time is that when you're working with the AI is also your mnemonic. So here I'm gonna, once again, and I've discussed this often, right click, create a price alert. I'm gonna set it to 138. And I'm gonna say above. And so here you go. And of course you can move it. Everything's drag and drop. So you have a lot of flexibility to work with our data. Now, the other very important thing is the AI trades today based on risk assessments and everything that it's done in the back office to quantify data and the statistics, like a card counter in Vegas. But you have history. So you're not just limited to what you're doing on the AI today. You can go back and you can say, well, what happened yesterday? Okay, so yesterday was a day where everything went was long, but what you can do is, once again, if you didn't trade these, you can simply go through and make points on where you thought. Now, yesterday, again, the market was, at least we thought that the AI thought that it was going to be a good long market. That doesn't, again, always happen. And we tell everybody that the AI is not simply like your goose that laid the golden egg. We're trying to do statistical plays. Over the long run, they work, but you can't always pick and choose exactly which day, which is why, again, we have risk parameters involved. And here, what I'm doing is, I'm going to show you another way to do it. So you can go and you can click on the entry signal and say, hey, I'm going to right click, create an alert, and say entry signal. I'm going to say AI entry signal. But I can also do something else. I can right click here, create another alert, and say long, because it's coming to me and saying this pulled back to the support price. Okay, so two different ways. So that's called a bracket. You've bracketed the stock, you've put it in your, you're not going to miss it either way. It's either going to come down to you or it's going to go up through you. Now, I'm going to bring up another one. Okay. So this is a stock that Barry suggested I bring up because I just want to talk about, just things that we track, things that we help people with. And of course, hold on a second here. And this was one of the AI picks today at 1658. And you can see that there's an E, which means that there was an earnings play. So the AI, again, this is some of the really good stuff that the AI is doing, obviously. And I want to make sure you see the good with stuff that it doesn't always exactly work out. But it got into it here at 658, and pretty much the stock has been on fire since then. Okay, and this is at all-time highs, maybe a good longer term play. And we talk about the fact that the AI is not simply just for day trading. You should consider that the statistics behind all the probabilities are trying to find things that you can hang on to longer. We know that just simply getting into stuff and getting out of stuff when you're trading, that's not the way to do it. Okay. What you want to do is you want to be able to get into something, and if it works out, some of the best stuff that you can do is that keeps running for you. You can't outtrade something like a Tesla, if you got into it, or an Apple, which just keeps on going and going and going. So we try to find those. It's not always successful, but again, and sometimes again, you have these one offshoot cases where you go from 50 to 60 in one day. And again, we can click on it and it says, why did this thing fall off a cliff? And you can read what Motley Fool says about it. Okay. So it's not just limited to yesterday's data, but you can go to a time frame and you can say, okay, today this is the end of the day, and here I'm going to go to the first. Okay, and now you're seeing trades that took place on the first. You can sort it. So you can kind of get an idea, well, what's been going on? Has this worked? And this is another example of like how to use the AI for longer term. Here's a trade that happened at 21. It pulled back for 2 days, but if you caught it on the re-entry kind of signal, if you had put it in there, you'd be up nice percentage right now. And again, it doesn't always work, certainly, but here's another example. Okay, we went long here, pulled back, and then started going. And that's how the nature of the stocks business is. It's not perfect unless you use risk management to make sure that, again, you can stay in the trade for the proper timing. Okay, here's one that's kind of started here, pulled all the way back, but it's coming back. So I'm going to avert myself to say that it could be getting ready. Okay, and that's how it is done. It's the 1, 2, 3 trade ideas. This is another perfect example. Okay, it's like a cup and handle, something that Steve Gomez, one of our educators, talks about in his education classes, and it's right here. So right click, create a price alert, and you can say AI swing candidate. That is it. Okay, are there any questions? Okay. So obviously, you know that we have a channel bar. Channel bar is the way that you can look at all the information on trade ideas, but without having to configure things. Lots of different channels. The earnings channel right here shows you what's going on, and here you can see PLAB. You can see some of the other names. You know, obviously GameStop had the earnings today that didn't work out. But PLAB, Love, you can see what's up, and this is in percentage terms. Okay, what's down after market percentage wise. So everything that you need is in the channel bar. Here's stocks that you like. We talked about how when you're going around trade ideas, you can quickly have a list of things that just are interesting to you. And it's this little heart right, see, and I'm going to add TWAC to it. And then it becomes a part of your symbol list called My Liked Symbols. So this is like trade ideas working with you like Twitter or Facebook. It's tracking, helping you stay connected to the ideas that you yourself like. Lots of channels to choose from. Okay, lots of different things, explosive winners. Very easy for you to find everything that's going up. Okay, lots of different biggest gainers today, the week, for the year. Simply broken up, and of course, trade ideas, winners, watcher. And you can then do, as I said before, you can right click in something like this, real-time stock race, 5, based on, let's say, change from the close, right here, replace cars, auto run the race, and go. And so everything that you see, we're going to give you an ability. So this is the list. And notice how in this particular case, the stock race, which has a little racing flag next to it, is in a tab. So you can use tabification. You can, of course, pull it out if you wanted to, but just showing you different ways that we're helping you see the data in trade ideas that otherwise you might have just not seen it before in the same way. Okay, of course you've got, let's see here, after hours, that's where we are right now. Okay, so we're in the after hours market and we can see change. Notice how we have a column called change post market percentage. Okay, 19, 14, 11, 11, 10, 7. So you can just see what's going up the most, what's, you know, what's doing what. And we keep adding data to the software so that we can diversify the views, like I said, from being able to track the racing to, of course, change post-market percentage is not a standard thing that you see in other places. That's something that is more or less proprietary to trade ideas. We're not proprietary, but certainly unique to where it's a custom data field that we make, and that's one of the things that we do. This is the post-market volume leaders. And once again, you can sort them by what's moving up the most. And this is an interesting, we always like these plays. where it's gone. This reminds me of GameStop and everything else. Right click, and I say, looks just like GameStop. And this is a way that you don't miss it. And of course, I already have it on my stocks that I like. But what I'm showing you right now really is the Trade Ideas channel surfing. And because you have docs, you can have multiple channels. See, I have this one over here that's still doing the races behind, and I'm just moving this around. So there's a lot of flexibility right now in terms of how you can create a layout, have a layout, what's in the layout, and how you view the data. We're getting very, very close to releasing a beta with the actual races, and we're going to create some race channel bars. So I think it's just going to be amazing. Notice there's a channel right here called Swing Ideas, things for the longer term. So here you're looking at revenue growth, companies that have revenue growth, and you're just trying to see if maybe this is a good time to pick them up. And again, I love these kinds of plays where it's come off and is bouncing, and just add a price alert. So you can see that I lead by example. And save. So, okay, are there any questions? Looks like we're pretty caught up. All right, I'm gonna wind down again. Today, we really wanted to talk about a couple of simple concepts, the races, and you can have layout, you can create a whole doc based on a race. Remember, you can track the winners. It's aftermarket, so it's not exactly the same as watching it during market hours. You can channel surf. You can take the AI, you can use it for longer term information by looking at the history. These are all the things that are available for you right now. And again, we are going to be releasing the beta soon that has the racing in it, and channels will be pre-configured. So now I'm going to jump back into the presentation. Okay, so number one, there's a promo code if you aren't signed up. Most of you are, but we always say if you can't afford this much per day, please don't subscribe to Trade Ideas. It's one of our favorite things to be able to communicate. Don't do it. Do not subscribe to Trade Ideas if you can not afford either $7.50 a day on a monthly basis or $2.90 a day on a yearly basis for standard. It means trading is not right for you. Okay. But if you want to take a look at what we've got and this the pricing page for the subscriptions, please go to trade-ideas.com/price. Education is our #1 asset. We never leave you alone. You're always working with us. You are constantly supported by our amazing support staff and ongoing education all throughout the week. So please take a look, check it out at trade-ideas.com/live. Barry, who has been helping me answering questions, the moderator of our amazing trading room, a community and meritocracy, a very good, rounded individuals who know how to support one another, who know how to trade, and really all aspects of Trade Ideas get ferreted out, and people help one another. It's a great way to get a different perspective, and if you're just starting, a great way to get your toes wet with Trade Ideas. Okay, go to trade-ideas.com/trading room. This is, of course, we're talking about interactive brokerage. They're a partner of ours, so if you want to check out how you can work and automate your trading through IB, please go to trade-ideas.com/IBKR, and that's where you can automate Holly, do a lot of cool stuff, but also just trade through Brokerage Plus. Okay. Barry in his trading room, big fan of IB, loves it, and always helps people out with how to work it and how to get everything going. And of course, as we said before, E-Trade is now fully connected with zero commission trading, and another amazing way to take advantage of all the data that you're getting from trade ideas and the opportunities through a fully a zero commission environment, trade-ideas.com/E-Trade. So we have a very active YouTube page. Go to youtube.com/trade ideas. Our support staff is on Twitter. And please like us on Facebook and Instagram and other places that you may encounter trade ideas. If you have any questions at all, please go to info@trade-ideas.com and let us know, and our support staff will be right there helping you get answers to all of your questions and improve your trading experience with trade ideas. Scott, I think we're pretty caught up and good.
Yeah, all right. The recording will be available later on. You get an email reminder tomorrow about how to find it. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Thanks. Have a nice one.
Thanks, guys.